Hey guys, welcome to the Facebook channel. What do you call this, Buckley? A Facebook group, right? This is a
Yeah,
group.
Facebook group.
Cool. Welcome, you guys. As some of you guys know, when Tuesday night is the night where we actually take a few minutes on Facebook Live to recap our last episode. And as you know, it usually takes people a few minutes to get logged on. So in the meantime, let me say this before we get started. We're going to do a giveaway tonight. This week, we dropped an episode with the director and founder of Hope's Bridge, which is an alternative to foster care. So hopefully some of you guys had a chance to listen to that. Buckley is pointing to the link there at hopesbridgetn.com. And man, that was a great episode. We'll talk more about it in a few minutes. But before we get into that, we're going to just give you a heads up that we're going to do a giveaway. So we were talking about how to do it, and I think the best way for us to do that is before the live is over. I guess we actually need a limit, don't we? You want to say before 10 o'clock tonight, Buckley?
Sounds good to me.
Some people will be watching the replay of this. So sometime between now and 10 o'clock tonight, if you go to Hope's Bridge Facebook page, so actually go to search your Facebook search bar for Hope's Bridge.
It's Hope's Bridge of Middle Tennessee.
That's their, yeah. Okay, cool. So search Hope's Bridge of Middle Tennessee. And like the page and post on there that you heard about them on the Kingdom Effect. We'll pick someone that posts before 10 o'clock tonight and give away a gift bag, which will include everybody's favorite, at least a T-shirt and some other goodies. So everybody loves T-shirts, right?
Can never have too many T-shirts, I always say.
What's your oldest T-shirt in your closet, Buckley?
Oh, man, that still fits?
I don't think that's a rule. It cannot fit. You have any high school?
Yeah, I've got one that's it's a black T-shirt, and it's a print of all of the characters from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I don't think I have any left from high school anymore, but I do have a friend, like my best buddy since third grade. We'll probably have him on the podcast at some point. But that joker still has multiple T-shirts from high school. Like I don't know if you remember, I'm sure. What year did you graduate?
99.
99. Oh, you're younger than me. Shoot. I graduated in 92. That stinks. But you remember in the 90s, like the big rage was airbrush T-shirts.
Oh, that and No Fear. Yeah, No Fear T-shirts.
Yep. Probably because I'm a little older than you. We had No Pain, No Gain. Remember that one? That was a good one. But yeah, my buddy Scott, I'm sure he still does, up to just a few years ago, still had his airbrush T-shirts. We were all in the high school band together, so it was like Fairview Aggie band, airbrushed, all the bright colors, And I think on the back, his nickname was Mad Dog, so I think it says Mad Dog on the back. So it's funny.
We used to always get those in trips to Florida at the beach. That's where we get the T-shirts.
Yep. That's exactly where we got them. When we would go on band trips, we would all get matching T-shirts. So.
Yeah. This is my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
This is my favorite T-shirt. This is my buddy. His name's Jimmy Watson. Wrong way.
There you go.
He is.
Is that him? Is that his picture on there?
That's him. So he's a former Navy SEAL, and he was on our rescue team.
Cool.
And
we're going to get him on the podcast, man.
Yeah, we need to. I don't know. He may be too famous for us now. He recently got saved, and he started this TikTok channel, kind of using it as inspirational talks and his testimony. And he also does some funny stuff, kind of making fun of Navy SEALs. I guess if you're a Navy SEAL, you can do that. And
I would not dare.
No, but he blew up overnight. It's so funny. I was telling a buddy of mine the other day, I got this friend of mine. He's on TikTok and this and this and this, and he's like, "You mean the touch point guy?"
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really cool because Jimmy doesn't live here in Tennessee. He lives off, so it's just kind of cool to meet somebody local that knows him. And then, of course, my buddy was amazed because I had pictures of me and Jimmy hanging out and stuff like that. But Jimmy autographed that for me
Oh, that's cool.
and sent it to me. So hopefully
That's
he'll
cool.
be famous one of these days.
That's cool. Tammy's on. Tammy says that we're babies compared to her. So
Uh,
I don't know if that's true. Tammy, go win the T-shirt. Hope's Bridge of Middle Tennessee.
oh, sweet. Tammy's on YouTube.
Yeah. What would we do if you and I had a TikTok channel? What would we do?
You know, I've actually been thinking about that for the private investigation business.
Yeah.
But if you and I did one together, it would be you trying to be Bear Grylls unsuccessfully.
That would be good.
It's like those. This one guy had one survive in Alaska, and he was making fun of these bushcraft skills. I've sent you a few of them.
Yeah, it's funny.
But I think that would be you.
Would we do the episode where Bear does his own enema?
Oh, I watched Bear Grylls all day today. By the way, that's why he's on my mind.
That's funny. What were we? Oh, I was going to ask you, what was your favorite Christmas present?
My favorite Christmas present is so when I was a kid. This will also tell our ages. When I was a kid, and you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, the answer was always MacGyver. So I don't know how many of you listening know who MacGyver is, but they remade the series. And usually remakes are not as good as the original, but I think the remake is way better. So MacGyver always carried around a Swiss Army knife and could build a bomb out of bubble gum, paper clips, and fertilizer, you know. And so it's not a Swiss Army knife, but it's a Leatherman multi-tool.
Awesome. Love
and
it.
So it was inspired by my new binge watching of the MacGyver series. I kind of go through that. Like, my whole appearance will change based on what I'm watching on TV. Like, I remember I was watching Sons of Anarchy, and all of a sudden my wallet had a chain on it. And you know, it's just...
That's awesome. So my favorite Christmas present was a hammock. It's like a double hammock, but it included the stand because we don't have a place around our house where I can hang a hammock. So I always have to go 5 or 6 blocks down the road. And actually, a couple months ago, I was out just on a Sunday afternoon resting in my hammock in our dog. It's like a dog walking park. And we have this neighborhood Facebook page, and we've had problems with the neighborhood Facebook page before. Like, we used to have a dog that was a little bit aggressive, and like we were like the target of the Facebook page. Like, everybody was really attacking us about our dog. And so I was out. I got home, and Julie said, "Were you just hammocking in the dog park?" I was like, "Yeah, it's great." And she had seen on the Facebook page, somebody had reported that there's a homeless person sleeping in the dog park. So I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it was an hour nap, and all of a sudden I'm a homeless guy in the dog park.
I've never seen a homeless guy in a hammock. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No, it's crazy. So anyway, it came with a stand. So, I got the hammock in the stand in the backyard. But I was like so excited to try it out. And I had a few minutes on Christmas Day to try it out, but then it was like 4 or 5 days, the weather never would cooperate. Right. So like the first day, after the really bad storms came through and the weather got really cold, it was like 30 degrees, raining. And I'm like, I cannot wait any longer. So I wrapped up in I have kind of a waterproof sleeping bag, and I was wrapped up and tried to get in, and I got tangled up and fell off the thing. And it was terrible. But I finally got in it, and lasted about 20 minutes before the water started seeping through. But that's how excited I was about my hammock.
You just made my point about the survival fail TikTok.
That if someone would have gotten that on video, like America's Funniest Home Videos, TikTok, wherever it would have gone viral. So it's great.
I started hammock camping not too long ago, a few years ago, and it took me, I had to learn, I actually read it somewhere, when you're laying in it, you have to cant your body at a 20-degree angle. Like, you don't lay in it straight. But if you turn your body 20 degrees, it flattens the hammock out, which was
that's cool. Yeah. It's kind of like the same principle as more surface area. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's talk about the episode. Let's see. We had Amanda Root from Hope's Bridge. And Amanda has this really great creative nonprofit. If you haven't listened, please go back and listen. But where they provide an alternative for foster care kids. So as foster care kids are unfortunately being taken from their families, there's this opportunity for basically family members to volunteer to take the kid so that it doesn't have to get entered into the system. Because once a kid is in the system, it could take up to 6 months to get them out, even if they have family members that's willing to take them, unless someone is there immediately to volunteer. And so they actually train families to volunteer and be volunteer family members for kids that are going into foster care. And they call them bridge families. And it's basically to bridge the gap for trying to grab them before they get into foster care. So it was great. What was your takeaway, Buckley? What was your favorite part of the episode?
Man, I think that my favorite part was just in my mind. I started thinking about how many times in my life that I've actually seen actual scripture come to life, and it happens around us every day. We just don't see it. We're not open to it. But I just remember sitting there thinking, like, man, that is orphans and widows. Were the two things that Jesus specifically called us to go and love on and minister to. And it just made me think of this, this full circle, how we were all orphans and we were adopted into the children of God. And just I just kind of had that whole full circle effect hearing her story.
Yeah, it's good. For me, I thought of something as I was getting set up here. Now I'm probably going to forget it, but yeah, just the and I think about this often when we listen to stories of these founders, the things that actually happen to them in their life. Like if terrible things happen to you and difficult things happen to you, and you never get an opportunity to use it to serve other people, those things are purposeless. But if you didn't hear the story, one of the pieces of Amanda's story is like as she was getting into trying to adopt and taking on some foster care kids, she actually lost one of her own children, a special needs children that she had. So that, like, if you just lose a kid at 10 or 11 years old and that's the end of the story, it's just purposeless. But that experience has given her the opportunity to serve foster parents so well. Like now she can minister to those parents so much better. And that just gives a little bit of purpose to the pain that we go through. There's a book I read last year called, oh shoot, I can't even remember who it's by now. But I'll try to put it in the notes later, in the comments later. But it was about, you really are never healed from your story until you can tell it well. So there's something about processing and telling the story of your pain and being able to share that with others, particularly others going through the same type of challenges, that gives just all of a sudden gives it purpose. So for me, what that meant was I needed to process all the pain I've been through in my life and verbalize it and get it out there and be willing to tell it, even if it's uncomfortable, for the sake of others.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stories are how we relate to one another. And that's how we make. I mean, Jesus was the best storyteller of all, and gosh, some of the deep theology. How hard would it be to understand without a story?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I love hearing people's stories. And you're exactly right. When something bad like that happens, we have two choices. We can let it consume us, the grief and the heartache and all the bad stuff, or we can still go through that grieving process, but then we can turn it into something that inspires other people. And I think that's exactly what Amanda and her group is doing out there.
Yeah, it's so cool. The book is by Dan Allender, who's a clinical psychologist out of Seattle, and it's called To Be Told. Talking about your stories to be told. So, yeah, it's good. You were talking to Tammy about places where you can find the podcast, in case you haven't heard it. You want to share that?
Yeah. So It's really kind of all over the place. Apple Podcast. It's on YouTube. We do the video versions on Facebook on Monday nights. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon. It's on Google. It's on iHeartRadio. I think I know iHeartRadio and it's on Pandora. So iHeartRadio, Pandora, and I know the Apple Podcast apps are free. So, and of course, you can always jump on Facebook here.
Yep. Yeah, our Facebook version is raw. There's zero editing to it, so sometimes you get a little bit of extra in there, but it's not as clean. So kind of trade off quality for content. But cool.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right.
All right. We'll go and check before 10 o'clock tonight. We'll go and check the Hopes Bridge Facebook page and see if we have anyone that liked and commented there. And the winner will get a little gift bag from Hopes Bridge.
Let me see if anybody's done that yet. Nobody's done it yet. Come on, guys.
Right. And then also, what are we doing tonight there, Glenn Buckley?
Tonight, we're interviewing a longtime friend of mine, Thomas Mitchell. I know you guys have heard me talk about him in previous episodes. He is going to have a lot to say about children and helping children that have been traumatized and abused. And then we're also going to kind of flip that around and talk about how those of us that do work where we are ministering to people who are experiencing trauma, how that trauma affects us, and things that we can do as leaders and volunteers to help combat that. So it's going to be a really good episode.
Yeah. Don't they call that secondary trauma?
It's called vicarious trauma.
Vicarious trauma. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it'll be good. The raw version on Facebook Live will be next Monday night. I think we post those at 7. Is that right?
About 7.
6:30? Somewhere around 6:30 to 7. And then the edited versions will drop on the podcast platforms at somewhere around 6 o'clock Tuesday morning. And then we'll be on next Tuesday night for about 15, 20 minutes kind of recapping. So thank you to Hopes Bridge for helping us out and sharing your story. Thanks, Amanda. I know, as I always say, we always have some aspect of the podcast that's hard for the person to talk about, but she was willing to be honest and vulnerable with us, and that means the world. So if you're watching, thank you, Amanda, and we'll see you guys next Monday night for the Raw Live that will stream on Facebook. And if you haven't listened to any of the episodes yet, it's a good time to catch up, and there's some good content on there, and we'll see you guys next time.